Hello and welcome to Consider the Source. This is Lord of Foxicity. Not talked to you guys in a while on this subject, mostly because there hasn't been any good adaptations vis-a-vis the movies that they are adapted from or into, rather. So we've got The Running Man, 2025 version of the 1982 novel by Stephen King, prolific author of many horror films and horror adaptations, which I have covered on this very channel. The Running Man is the story of Ben Richards in a dystopian future, which is kind of present day right now, forced to go into the game system, play a kind of reality show game where a man goes out on the run for 30 days to avoid hunters and random people while giving away his position in a daily send in a video type, analog type situation, 10 minutes minimum, to talk about where he is and what he has done. If he survives the 30 days, then he wins an ultimate prize. In the case of the movie, it's $1 billion, which B with a billion is pretty significant as far as that goes. Anyway, not too much different between the plot of the book and of the 2025 movie. However, the 1987 adaptation from Arnold Schwarzenegger, most people are familiar with, has its merit, even though it's basically just a futuristic Arnold Schwarzenegger type film that does all of the Arnold Schwarzenegger type stuff. The 2025 movie is basically, well, they're trying to be as close to the adaptation as possible. However, a spoiler alert, they do completely not stick the landing near the end of it. So, if you are a fan of the original movie, you will not like this 2025 version. If you are a fan of the original Bachman book that this is adapted from, you will not like this either because they completely shit the bed in the last 5 minutes of the film in the third act. So, basically, Ben Richards, worried about his sick kid, decides to go in and enlist in the games program where he will, among other things, run away from the hunters and the people that would spell him to the hunters in modern day dystopian future that Stephen King has outlined. And what happens and what follows within that is his run from the hunters for the 30 days, keeping alive as long as he can. And then supposedly at the end of it, he would get $1 billion or something like that. It's supposed to be a analogy for, modern day reality TV stuff, plus the fact that, we supposedly live in this fascist government regime or whatever. Stephen King modeled it to fit into his Bachman book narrative, the four titular Bachman books: Running Man, Rage, Long Walk, and Road Work, originally put into a 4-book compendium, are all sort of, downer ending type stories. Ben Richards having the happiest of endings, spoiler alert, for the remainder of the movie. I'll go ahead and put my spoilers right here and now. And what happens is, at the end, after a good long run, Ben Richards fakes his way onto a plane and crashes that plane into the tower in which the games system, headed by Dan Killian, who is the head of the games federation, is killed because of Ben Richards' sort of kamikaze attack. So that being said, maybe they didn't put it in because it was too much close to the World Trade Center, planes being wrecked into that, if you believe that. And that's why they didn't want to do it. I don't know. I can't honestly say, but they definitely diverged from that, making it look like the plane was shot down. Ben had taken out all of the operatives that were on the plane, and in the quote unquote Richards Live version, Ben escapes, get back to a family, who in the novel were murdered by random transients and or drug addicts, but in the film were supposedly murdered by the hit squad that went after him, took a timeout and decided to go after his family because of how many different cops and hunters that Ben Richards took out who were attacking him. And that's why you have this big revenge plot in the third act of the film. Supposedly all of that is untrue, and Richard's family is healthy and alive in some sort of dystopian witness protection program, and he manages to get back to them and even manages to take out Killian. So make of that what you will. I don't know how Stephen King signed off on that. For someone who cried and complained as much and as long as he did over The Shining, taking creative liberties with his work, I don't know how he's able to reconcile that between what happened with The Long Walk earlier this year and now The Running Man, completely changing the ending of his books. Honestly, the fucking Arnold version is better. Way, way, way better.
It's showtime.
10 seconds later, I'll go on the air.
We'll be ready.
Seriously, as bad and as stupid as the Arnold version is, it's way better than this piece of fucking dog shit that they have spewed out. I don't know what they were thinking. They tried so hard to stay with the, source material and then just completely abandon it in the third act. I have no idea what the logic there was with that, but whatever the reasoning is, it's stupid. And I would watch the Arnold version of it from 87, even though it's only in name only for, the original novel. With this, the newest version is complete dog shit.
But you fucked it up.
At least the Arnold version has charm.
Hey, David, my name is Randy. Listen, I have a question about Dynamo.
Hey, what?
The hell with you.
I mean, I can't even imagine what was going through the heads of the executives when they said, oh, hey, let's stick as close to the source material with this movie as we possibly can. And then, you know what we'll do in the third act? Let's completely fucking shit the bed. I really just, I don't understand that. It doesn't make any fucking sense at all.
Well, that's just lazy writing.
Yeah, they just decided at the last second, you know what? We'll give it a happy Disney-fied fucking ending near the end, and that'll totally make up for it. Glenn Powell, you deserve better. Edgar Wright, you deserve better. Who the fuck greenlit this shit? Please, whatever else you do not spend money on this fucking turd like I did. I spent $30 tonight to get nachos and watch this movie, and I was bored to tears, and then the ending had me just crying foul the whole time. I guess maybe if you're not familiar with the source material, maybe that would be okay. I really have no idea. I can only imagine that, if you're watching this having no other exposure except for the 87 Arnold version, maybe you would be okay.
Right? Wrong.